The German government says it welcomes President Biden's decision to stop any planned troop withdrawals from Germany. Many leaders believe the stationing of troops in Germany is a matter of European and transatlantic security. Joining us now on News Nation is J.J. Green, national security correspondent for WTOP Radio. He was also embedded with the U.S. military in war zones. J.J., nice to have you. Thanks for being with us.
Good to be back with you.
So, former President Trump said Germany was delinquent in its military spending. Can you explain the timing? Why now for the current president's announcements about troop withdrawal from Germany?
Well, the sooner the better, because what this President Biden wants to do is, this is a part of a larger review of all U.S. military forces everywhere in the world. They want to figure out where they are, what they're doing, and if they're effective. But the more specific reason for this is that Germany, since World War II, has essentially been the foundation of the U.S.'s commitment to NATO. And it's important because when the announcement was made, it wasn't something that Germany was aware of, and many folks in the U.S. military and in Congress were upset about it because they believe it sent the wrong message to the world and to Russia, which the U.S. Commitment to NATO is so germane and specific to, because NATO was founded to combat Soviet aggression, which has since been left to Russia. So it's very important to figure out what is where, who is where, and whether it's effective or not. And that's exactly what this review is designed to do. This freeze is designed to give the U.S. a chance to review and to see what's necessary.
So a lot of people don't think of Germany for top of mind when they think of where our U.S. troops are around the world. What are the political and military implications, both long-term and short-term, of actually pulling the troops out of Germany? And you mentioned the U.S.-Russia relationship. If you could go into that a little more as well.
Sure. As I mentioned, Germany is essentially the foundation of the U.S. commitment to NATO. NATO was set up to combat Soviet aggression. And as we've seen in the last 20 years or so under Vladimir Putin, Russia's essentially a smaller version of the Soviet Union. Germany has been on the front lines as far as the U.S. is concerned when it comes to dealing with Russia, because it's, for all intents and purposes, the most powerful military in Europe, and it's on the U.S.'s side. Russia has never liked the fact, obviously, that the U.S. and Germany and NATO exist in this collective, this group, and has tried to do everything it can to try to dismantle it. So by the U.S. staying in this agreement with Germany, it essentially sends the message to Russia. The U.S. is back, and we're going to continue what we've been doing since World War II, as opposed to this departure, which would have split U.S. troops up. Some would have been coming home. Some would have been going to Italy. Some would have been going to Belgium. But if this holds, if this withdrawal continues, it's likely to change the dynamic of the relationship between the U.S. and Germany, and certainly the message to Russia. So I'm thinking it's very likely that withdrawal may not happen, at least at these numbers.
So how is Germany responding to the new plan, and Russia? How is Russia responding?
Well, first of all, Russia's not happy with the U.S. for a number of reasons, because National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said this week, just before President Biden reiterated it, the U.S., quote, is back, and it's going to have to answer. Russia's going to have to answer for everything that it's done in the last few years, from hacks to interfering in U.S. elections, to poisonings, to putting bounties out on U.S. troops. And what Sullivan said, I'm sure, resonated in Russia when he said the U.S. is going to act at a time and a place of its own choosing. That's a very key phrase, essentially saying, we're coming, you just won't know when, but we are coming, you should know this. And Germany's very happy about this, obviously, because this keeps things at the status quo, at least for now. And if it stays, if the U.S. continues to keep these troops there, it essentially continues to support the status quo, which has worked very well for the U.S., NATO, and the world since World War II, in having the U.S. presence there in Germany.
J.J. Green, as always, thank you very much for your insight.
Pleasure. Good to be with you.